So this is our final output, guys. So let's check it out. 70 divided 2, it returns 35. After that, if we plus 2 inside, it's 37. Now if we minus 8, it's 29. And if we multiply by 20 and find percent, so it's 5.8. And if you want to delete the last part from this, now we just simply click on tail. So it clicks the last part. After that, if we click on this AC button, then it's clear all the values. And after that, if we click on this button, it generates 2 zeros at the same time. So this is our output. If you want to know how I can make this output, so follow these steps. And guys, this is a completely responsive. So let me show you. Now let's see. This is completely responsive. That is it. Let's get started. So firstly, let's create a new folder. Right click and new folder. Let's rename it project 2. Inside project 2, let's open with VS Code. Now let's close this. For that, we don't need this folder, so let's close it because it's consuming our RAM. That's why. Let's create another folder named index.html. In this folder, let's write down boilerplate code. In VS Code, there is a shortcut in HTML code. If we write shift plus 1 button, then it shows this exclamation mark. And after we click on enter, then it's automatically write the boilerplate code for us. So let's rename the title. Firstly, let's open with live server. So now let's rename the title. So now let's rename it in title. Let's paste it. So let's put the title of calculator. Now as you can see here, here's our title. Now let's put main div.main because we are writing all our buttons code in this main section. That's why firstly we have to write here an input tag, because if user click on any button, then we have to show this value into input tag. That's why firstly that's input tag. So let's separate this input tag by div.input. That's called tag. So inside it, let's write down input and type equals to text. This is a shortcut. If you click on enter, then it's automatically set input type equals to text. So let's put an ID equals to input, and let's remove this name. We don't need this, and let's save it and show how's our output. Now this is not so good. So at the beginning we have to put the value of input tag 0. Value 0. Now this is our tag. After that, let's write our buttons. So create another div to separate buttons, div.buttons. Let's format it, and after that let's create div. We have 5, let me count. So we have to create 5 divs. because we want to separate our buttons, so it's become easier. That's why I'm separating by btn rows 1, and after that let's set 4 buttons. So I'm using shortcut. This is a shortcut for UTT button, and after that I am setting value. I am setting how many times I want to create these buttons. So how we can do that? We have to put a star and how many times I want 4 times. So let's enter it here. Now as you can see, these are our buttons. So inside it we have to put a value. So let's set this into boolean. Enter, format it, and firstly we have to set a value. And firstly we are setting AC value to clear all our texts. So AC, and inside it let's write down AC. Let's save it. Now as you can see, this is our AC, and after that let me resize it. Now let's put another value. So copy it from here and paste it. I'm ready. Another value is delete. Means I want to delete one value from our text. That's why. Let me create this button first, then I explain you. So this is our first row. Let me save it. So now it's look not so good. Let me create the all button first, then I'll design it. So let's create another row. So this is our end of. I don't want another button in this line. I want other buttons in the next line. That's why I'm using the other div. So I'm using div underscore minus rows minus 2. Second line. Oops. We have to put here dot. So after that, let's press it, enter. Now let me write the button first, then I'll tell you. So this is our other buttons. Let's save it. So now as you can see here, this is our other buttons lines. Let's create another button. After that, let's create another div dot row minus.
I got nightmares in my head. I fear that the thoughts build.
I put it here btns. So I am clearing dot
anxiety filling up every space, no
rows.
and silently it could build and build until you finally see. Whoa, it's taking
now let's
no closure, moving
edit this.
no exposure. I just wanna be a loner.
I'm doing this because for clarification. This is necessary because if we come back from the long time and see our code, then we don't understand anything. That's why we have to clear the all names. So let's create another 4 names, 4 buttons. So guys, I created another 4 buttons. Let's save it. Now let's create another 4 buttons. So div dot btn minus rows dot 4. Let's copy it. Let's paste it here. So I created another 4 buttons. Let's save it. Now let's create another last 4 buttons. So dot btn row 5. So guys, this is our end of buttons. Let me show you how I did it. I created an class name called buttons. Inside this button, I created another 4 classes. 5 classes. So inside these 4, inside these classes, name button and rows 1, I created 4 buttons. Inside another class, button rows 2, I created another 4 buttons. After that, again and again, I just like to that. This is the design output. So it's not looking good. Let's design it by CSS. So let me link the style sheet. So this is a shortcut link href. Let's create another style sheet. So I'm writing style.css. So after that, let's write this name. Style save. Now our style sheet is linked. Now let's write CSS code. So firstly, I am writing margin and padding 0 because by default margin and padding are not so good. That's why I am making it 0. So I'm using shortcut m-0 plus p-0. It's a shorthand for margin and padding 0. So let's press enter. So let's save it. Now as you can see here, this is our output. It's not looking so good. So let's design it. So font family, I'm using Arial and let's make it into center this. Let's make it in center. So I'm targeting body tag, body, inside body, I'm using display flex. So display grid. There are many methods to centering the div. So I'm using display grid and place items center. Now as you can see here, our div is not centered. It's centered in vertically, not in horizontal. So this is because of height of our body is not in 100%. So we have to give the height of our bodies in 100%. So let's give it so height 100 VH. VH means viewport height. That's it. Now our div is in the center. Now let's design these buttons. So before designing the buttons, let's design the background. It's not looking pretty, so let's design it. I am giving background linear gradient. Means I want to merge to more than to one or two color. So to right, comma. So guys, I am setting this color. So let's save it. Oops, I have to remove this comma. Now it's background looking good. Now let's fix these buttons. Now let's firstly design this its background. Sorry, let me show you. We are targeting the main class. So let's copy it, and we have to put here height and width background background filter. So let's inside it we are writing here height 200 pixels. Now as you can see, there is no difference because we don't add border here. So let's add it border 2 pixel solid red. Now let's add 400 height 400 pixel and width 300 w 350 pixel. Let's save it. Now as you can see here, our box is height 400 pixel and width is 300 pixel. Now let's center this elements. So how we can do that? To centering that, we have to use display grid. You can use display flex or position absolute and left 50% and transition there. There are many methods to centering, and use display grid because it's easier. Place items center. Let's center it. Now our element is in the center. So let's change the color of border. I'm using white smoke. Save it, and I'm writing border radius 7 pixel. Let's save it. Now it's looking good. Now let's design this input tag. So I am targeting direct input element, input height 40 pixel. Save. Now our height of input tag is 40 pixel. Now I am using width I am writing 300 pixel. Save it. Width 300 pixels. Let's write down height 50 pixel. It's good. And write down bar outline on. Outline means when we click on it, then it shows a little bit white color outline. That's why we're removing this outline. We don't want this. So outline none. So if you click on it, now there is no outline. So let's write down border 2 pixel. Border radius. I am curving this input tag. Border radius 2 pixel. And I have to put here border none because there is a default border. So let's write down border none. Border none. Now our input tag is little bit coordinates. Increase the font size. Font size means our text size inside it. This is the default text size. I am increasing it by 2 rem to m. It's too huge, so let's reduce it. Let's make it 1.5. 1.5. Now it's looking good. Let's make it background transparent. Background transparent means there is an input tag, but our background is transparent. So let's place an CSS selector where if someone clicks on input tag, then it shows us some border. So how we can do that? So let's click on it. So if input tag over, that means if anyone using mouse hover on the input tag, then it shows the border 2 pixel solid white. Now let's see it's working or not. If you click on it, now as you can see here, if you click on it, then it shows border. So I'm using this on input tag focused. That means if someone click on input tag, then only it shows the border. So input tag after that focus. See focus. I have to remove this inner pixels. Another property. So let's save it. So if someone click on input tag, then it shows border, and remove from it, then it don't show border. Now let's resize these buttons. So in button I am directing tagging. I am directing selecting buttons, button, adding 10 pixel. Save. Now, so let me comment it first because now I don't want to see this like, but when our code is finished, then I want to see the output like this. So let's comment on first. Now let's put this button at the top. So how we can do that? Let's put here. I am targeting this class. Wait a second. I am targeting input class. Where is input? Input tag. This class. So here I am targeting this class. Inside it, I am using position absolute. Position absolute. Sorry, position relative. That means we can move our these buttons according to this tag. So let's save it. Now we have to put here this class button, targeting this button, and put the. Let me show you. If we put position absolute, then we can control these buttons. control these buttons according to this tag. Now as you can see here, this is our input tag at the center of our body. So let's put it top. So I'm using top minus 150 pixel. Save it. Now let's see, it's on the top. After that, let's decide these buttons. We have to use top 0. We don't have to use this. Now I'm targeting this first row. That's why let's open it, and I'm targeting this button rows first. So let's copy it from here and target this dot this and write some CSS for this line. So now let's make it circle border radius circle. So inside in bottom we have to write here border radius 50%. Let's save it. Now as you can see here, this looks like circle. Let's put height and width. Height 60 pixel. Save it. And let's try one width 60 pixel. Now it's look little bit attractive. Now let's put margin 7 pixel. Save. It's looking good. Now let's make it this input tag more. Let's put this input tag in the more top. So let's increase the size of this box. So inside this we have to write here 500 pixel. Let's increase the width of this box. I'm putting 400. Let's save it. Now it's looking good. Now let's increase this size of this input tag also. So input tag I'm increasing width 350 and height I'm writing 60 and at the top I'm writing 0. Now I have to write the position absolute using top 0. So position absolute. So we have to write position relative to top 0. And now let's write on top minus 100 pixel. 100 pixel. At the first, let's save it. Now let's put this somewhere at the bottom. So I'm writing here minus 60 pixel. Let's put more down 50. Now we have to make the more bottom. We have to make this bottom at the more bottom. So how I can do that? So inside this bottom tags, button attribute, this class buttons, we have to write here bottom view. So let's make it more up. So I'm writing here 100 pixel. Now it's looking good. Now let's increase the font size of it. So at the start section, because it's an universal editor, that's why I'm using star. Right, save. And here we have to write a font size. Font size 30 pixel. It's too bigger. Let's reduce it. Make it 25 pixel. Save it. It's too big. Let's reduce this 20. Now it's looking good. Now let's remove this outline and border. and add some box shadow. So in button tag, let's out. So in button tag at the top, outline none. Let's save it, and border none. Border none. Save it. Now this looks pretty good. Now let's give the box shadow of this button. So box shadow, I'm using 0 for x offset, 0 for y offset, and for glowing I'm using 20 pixel black. Let's see. Now our all buttons are glowing black from outside. If we use inset, then it's glow inside, but outside is looking fine. That's why I'm using this. Let's increase the margin of these buttons. So I'm using margin 10 pixel. Save and make this button top from 120 pixel, minus 150. So I'm writing it minus 180. Oops. I have to write it for these buttons. So where is dot buttons? Bottom, I'm using 80. So let's save it. Now it's looking good. Now let's reduce some margins of buttons. I'm using 8 pixel. It's looking a little bit good in 8 pixel now let's change the color of these buttons. So I'm using background color. So inside the buttons I'm using background color black. So we have to set here into buttons, so that's why I am tagging these buttons. And let's save it. Let's back at the top, work right here, save. Now our color text color is also black, that's why it's completely black. So let's put color white, save it. Now it's looking not so good. So guys, I don't like this background, so I'm changing the background from this image. I already downloaded this from Pixels. Let's put it into background. I am removing this background color. Wait a second. I am removing you. Let's remove this. And after that, let's put the background image URL. This is my image. Let's center it from bottom. Background position. We have to put semicolon here. Background position bottom. After that, background size cover. Now let's format it. Save it. This is output. So now let's design these buttons. After that, in button, let's put as cursor pointer, means when we take our mouse here, it's converted to a pointer. So in button, put at the top cursor pointer, save it. Now let's see, when we put mouse cursor here, then it's converting to pointer. Let's background transparent. And after that, this box, let's put it box shadow minus 15 pixel, minus 15 pixel, 8 pixel, and white, comma, semicolon. It's too big. Let's reduce it by 8. So guys, I am putting this box shadow. Let's put here box shadow. RGBA. Now we don't need this box shadow. It's don't look good. So let's save it. Now this is our computer. Let's when someone hover on our these buttons, then its background changes. So when button hover background color gray, save it. Now as you can see here, this is our buttons. When we hover on the buttons, then its background color change. It's too fast, so let's add transition. So transition 0.5 second, semicolon. Let's see. Now this looks good. After that, let's change these buttons color. We have to add class in that buttons in this AC del %divide star this. So we can do directly by inside by descending selectors like dot details inside buttons class base and button whose type equals to whose value equals to, and for selecting this AC, so let's say AC value. Now let's think it's working or not. So color red. So as you can see, this is working perfectly. Our color of AC changed. So let's select all these buttons by like this. So put semicolon. After that, copy this and paste it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's change these values. First the AC, then I'll resume the video after this change the value. So as I changed the color of all tags, sorry, I put the value of all tags. So let's save it. Now as you can see here, our color of this tags will changed. Now I want to change color of equals to, this equals to button as green, so yellow. So inside dot created, I am copying it from here. Copy it, paste. I want to change its background color. Background color light.
Under the rug, all my problems that I shove. I got nightmares in my head.
Let's see how it's looking. It's looking good. Now let's change color of this all tags, all buttons. Color yellow, yellow green. After that, let's put the alt text font bold. So font width, font, font width bold. Same here. So let's put it into top. So our font is bold. Now I want to increase this divide, multiply, minus, and plus signs to height, sorry, font size because its font size is too low. So let's increase it. So from now here, I am selecting, wait a second, this plus, minus, and multiply, and divide button. Copy from here, paste it. Now increase font size. Font size as 30 pixels. Save it. Now as you can see, our font size is increased. Let's increase it by 35 pixels. Now it's looking good. Now it's backdrop filter, means blur this background, blur this box background. So when I click on main here, so backdrop filter, backdrop filter, blur by 20 pixels. Save it. Now I have to set these buttons in a range. From bottom I want to put it 50 pixels, 20 pixels. Now it's looking good. So guys, first let's change the divide symbol. So this is the symbol of divide. It looks good. So I'm changing this. So inside this code, I'm changing it from here. Paste and paste. Let's save it. Now as you can see here, this is our symbol. Working fine. So I have to change its value, right? Let's change it. In value section I have to put it in divide, and in this divide section I have to put it. Let's see. Now as you can see here, our divide icon is looking nice. Now let's design this on hover. We want to change its background. So on hover, I want to change its background color to white. White, and let's save it. So if we hover it, its background completely white, but I have to change its color because our text is not visible if color is white. Then color is black, then it's going black. Let's save it. Now as you can see here, it's looking perfect. After that, let's design these buttons. Let's make it more curved, this main body. So in main body, border radius, put it 10 pixels. So now it's looking good. After that, let's change the color of these buttons. And in hover, I want to change its background. So guys, I want to put its back color is F1. So let's put it. So F1, let's save it. Let's make it more. Now let's change its background. So let's change its background as light sun green and make its color white. Now it's looking pretty good. After that, I don't want to increase this and this button font size. So I'm removing this. So I'm removing this color and this divide. So let's after that. Now let's save it. Now it's looking good. After that, I want if someone hovers on these buttons, then its background, its color becomes black. Now I can do that. So let's see. So inside of every this, let's copy it from here, and after that paste it here. So after every last of every selector, we have to put it hover. Let me put it, then I'll resume the video. So guys, I put it hover selector, hover attribute here, but I haven't put it hover attribute in the equals to, because I don't want to change its background or color when it's hovering. That's why I am writing here. After that, if someone hovers on this button, I want to change color as black. So let's write down color black. Let's save it. Now, as you can see here, if you hover on this button, its color is automatically changed on black. Now it's looking pretty good. After that, our form section is good. Now let's design this input tag. So after that, in input tag, let's make it border radius. So in input tag, let's resume this. If someone click on it, then its border appears. But if someone don't click on it, that now we have to let's make this border radius firstly 10 pixels. Let's save it. Now if someone click on it, its border radius 10 pixels. Put some padding on it. So padding left and putting 10 pixels. Save it. That means our text starts from here. That's why let's load it. Now we have to put some JavaScript code. So let's start. So inside HTML, let's link JavaScript script. Yes, RC. I haven't selected that file. I am creating now. So let's create it. So script.js. That's inside this. We have to select these buttons. So let's left by left bpn equals to document dot query selector all. We are clicking on element. That's why we don't have to write here hash or dot. We are targeting elements. So vu pp or button. Let's save it. After that we have to select an input tag, because if someone clicks on these buttons, then we have to show these values onto the input tag. So how we can do that? So first we have to put an ID of an input tag. So let's put an ID. I already put an ID. So let's copy it. Create another variable. Input equals document dot id get element by id, whose id is input. We selected that. Let's put semicolon at the last. Semicolon. Now we have to select this all button AC, Del, and this all buttons to calculate these values. So let's select it by giving them an ID. So first having one ID AC, and secondly in Del I'll give the ID, then I'll do the video. So guys, I put the ID of all these calculation buttons as the same as the name. I put in the same ID like this. Divide ID percent digital. Let's format it. Let's save it. Now we have to select this all. So let's copy it. I am selecting all this element and all this button. So let's wait for that. So guys, I selected all calculated buttons. So now let's create a loop for loop. Let's do like this thing. This thing button btn dot length semicolon height plus 2. That means until or unless our length of these buttons becomes over, this returns the length of our button. How many is of our buttons? This returns it. After that, insert it in on click button btn dot on click equal fix and function. This function wants to do that. After that, if user click on any button, we have to send this data into this input tag. So how we can do that? So if let's select this input tag. So I input dot value plus equals to, we want to set btn height value, comma. Let's save it. Now let's check if it's working or not. Let's click on it. It's not working. Let's see what's the problem. We have to put here button I dot value. Value to extract this button's value. That's what. Let's save it. Now let's see. Still not working. So guys, there are here. So I cannot declare like symbol in name. I have to write it here in alphabet. Percentage. And it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end. Subtract and addition. After that, let's check it it's working or not. But before checking that, we have to add an event. That means on click what events we are passing in the function, and in here button dot value we have to add event dot target. Let's save it. Now let's check it it's working or not. So as you can see here our value is inserting, but at the cost there is a 0. So we have to remove it by giving replacing the value by a placeholder. Its value is 0. No, we have to replace it by placeholder. Placeholder, that means if anyone clicks on that and puts some information inside it, then it's automatically it is 0. Now if we click on that, then it's adding inside this input box. Now let's activate these buttons. Activate it. Open. Inside it, we have to write if this function. So if btn event dot target dot value equals to, and firstly matching it with this AC button. So AC big one. Then do this input inside input dot value equals blank. Now let's save it. Now check this will be not. So let's save it. So if you click on here, click on AC, it is successfully clearing. But here is an AC, so we have to put it in else condition. Else. So put this 4 into else part. So now let's save it. Now let's check it. It's working or not. Now if you click on AC, then it's automatically erased. After that, we have to change its placeholder color black. So first change it, then I'll explain you on the code. So in input section, placeholder color black, I think I have to write it in white. Let's write it white state. So let's reload it. Now as you can see, but it's not looking fine. Let's put it black. Wait a second. Make it black. So, black. Yeah, save it. Now it's looking black. Now it's looking good. Now we have to write here on the condition. If user clicks on this deal button, then so we have to write here else if if event dot target dot value equals to date, then do this stuff. Now we are using an string method, which is input dot value plus equals to substring input dot value dot substring from where to where, 0 to input dot value dot length -1. Now let's save it. Let's check this working or not. But we have to use equals to only, not plus. Now let's save this. Now check it is working or not. 9, 7, 8, 9 day. Now as you can see, it's relating. Now let's put this percent value code. After that, else if event dot target dot value equals to this modulus, then do this input dot value equals to input dot value, evaluate, use function, evaluate this value and then divide by 100 and divide by 100. Put semicolon. Let's check it. In our code, suppose 100 multiply 10 and modulus. As you can see, it's working perfectly. Now let's put this divide 4. After that, again let's write down, copy it from here, paste it, equals to divide. This divide, copy it from here. Then what do we have to do? Input dot value equals to evaluate equation. So let's check it. So guys, it's creating an because this is not a division operation. So let's change the value of it by divide. And inside the index.html, we also have to change the value of the divide section. This we don't have to change this. This is because of this is the user interface, and this is for our backend. Save it. Now this sign is not changed, but let's check if it's working or not. 6 1. Save it, and let's save it from here also. Evaluate it equals to the first change in CSS. So inside this value section, this divide, let's write down slash here, slash, and inside this here, let's make it slash. Let's save it. Now it's working good. It looks good. Now let's check it in a code. Now we have to put here, we don't need this target. We don't have to execute this because we simply just execute eval function to execute automatic operations. We just have to equals. If user press on this equals button, then we have to just evaluate this expression. So save it so that let's check if it's working or not. So 9 divided 9 equals to, it's not working. Let's save it again. Now let's check it. Reload it first. Now let's divide 9 divided by 9 divide. First its value is 1. Now our program is working perfectly. Let's check it by multiplication. 11 multiply 6 equals to 66. Now let's subtract 6 from that. It's 60. Now plus 8 in 60, 68. It's perfectly working, right? And multiply by 10 modulus 6.8. Now let's delete this fourth part. Now as you can see here, if we click on this button, it's working perfectly fine. So one like this plus 30, it's working perfectly. So that is it for today, guys. If you like this so that is for today, guys. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this video, and I'll see you next time.